My soul searching for chemicals, I'm giving her the matter. My flesh searching for digital, she giving me a batter. I'm whipping it real hard, watch it turn into chatter. Shatter words all over actors, they walk into a disaster. It's quitins for you and yours truly, that I'm certain. Persons made up of personal personality persons. They jerkin my collar, but I ain't budging budgets. I'm laying down on a platform in a double-layered bucket. Niggas wondering what's under it. Well, it's filled with some wondering, cut with some endless numbers plus a sprinkle of that thunder. The ship stopped at the limit, hovered over the Pacific, specifically aligned with the ripple like a skillet. Ejecting pure bliss into the presence of existence, rejecting all of the calls for thinking they long distance. Rootin into the crowd, they growing into a smile. Jumping through all of these portals make my days turn into miles. They trying to duck from the sky, and I ain't asking why. Wasting their time, got they clock sipping on wine. Golden grip on the silver wheel, riding word whips. It's golden grip on the silver wheel, riding word whips. Molding scripts on that platinum pith. They allergic, keep the tip laced with flame. Let it burn but nice and slow. Feed the trip with fantasy till all you see is iron and smoke. Don't come back, keep the height. Close your eyes and see the light. Night is day, coming forth out of all the naked eyes. Legends become myth, the pathology at the end. Said legends become myth, the pathology at the end. Peasants turning in the gods that show the kings that they are men. Passengers riding wind, but losing destination. Messengers keep debating with messages for the nation. You go and give, the give and go. Never take it personal. Search for those who search for more by telling every ant to know. That's closing the gap between the self. The water had to agree to melt, to conjoin with the fire and see how the era earth felt. Placing myself at the bottom cause they upside down. I peep the images I'm painting when you hear this sound. You smoking the most high, I'm sober and out of time. Still I'm potent enough to measure these doses just for the sky. Open your eyes, not your lid, see it for what it is. Open your eyes, not your lid, see it for what it is. How you see it right now is only what someone said. Images pulling your leg, leading you to the edge. Then the artist draws a 90-foot drop behind your legs. Now you stuck in place, can't go back or forward. So take a left and right about this picture's where you going. Suddenly you can feel it, the emptiness is clearer. It was only a mirror, the illusion can't compare you. The world is all but selfish, yet it's selfish when they selfish. To try to make the giver of life appear to be selfless. They're helpless cause they need none to recognize they got more. All along you can fly, the winds roll on your feet though. Golden grip on the silver wheel, riding word whips. It's golden grip on the silver wheel, riding word whips. Molding scripts on that platinum pith. They allergic, keep the tip laced with flame. Let it burn but nice and slow. Feed the trip with fantasy till all you see is iron and smoke. Don't come back, keep the height. Close your eyes and see the light. Night is day, coming forth out of all them naked eyes. Legends become myth, the pathology at the end. Peasants turning in the gods that show the kings that they are men. Okay, it's a little bit of that dose. Basically, I'm gonna get into, I don't know which one I should do first, but I guess I'm just gonna do the perfect sleep. I don't want to contemplate too much. So the perfect sleep makes the perfect awakening, and I just tested it and the shit worked. Okay, so basically what's needed is you have to really remove, when you start relaxing, I don't know what you do, watch TV, listen to music, eat some food, exercise, shower, whatever you're doing before you, when you know you're about to go into your letting go, you're about to let go of that rope you know, which is the physical string of this realm that you're in. It's just a little line. That's all. You're inside of a little string right now. And basically, whatever, when you're about to do that, you're going to go into a sleep anyway, because you're already asleep. This is the dream. You're sleeping on purpose. You didn't fall asleep. You went to sleep on purpose. And you don't know that. That's why you practice going to sleep all the time, because it's trying to remind you that you're inside of a game. It's letting you know you're the virtual character inside of this simulation, like Sims. The difference is you are the operator. You're the generator, operator, and destroyer. You're all ends of the whole thing. So that's why sometimes in your life, and this is what I've been trying to be careful, because sometimes people think things are wrong, and there's nothing really ever wrong. Nothing's really wrong. It's just you don't understand what your soul's trying to tell you. You might be trying to do one thing in life, and you already did it, so your soul keeps crashing that shit because it's trying to do something else. It's just like a kid eating the same thing over and over and over and over. Eventually, you're going to have to get creative with that meal, or they're going to be sitting there staring at the bowl or plate like, the fuck is this shit? You know, eventually it becomes, they don't care about it no more. It's the same thing over and over. Okay, so basically somewhere down the line we figured out that doing the same thing over and over creates a unwanted energy, and that was how we were able to burst out of the patterns and create a whole new shape, pattern, or cycle. Because doing the same thing over and over is actually beneficial to the people who can catch the patterns. The people who don't catch them are just supposed to be on reruns so they can entertain you and make you actually see. If people weren't doing the same thing over and over, you wouldn't be able to step out of it and see the difference that you're making in your own experience, because they wouldn't be doing the same thing over and over and over and over. It would just be, am I changed? Did I change? You wouldn't be able to notice the change. Okay, so now back to the perfect sleep, creating the perfect awakening. Well, basically, when you're sleeping, okay, you can go, there's certain levels you can go to. And it's actually awakening. It's hard to explain because of the fucking English we're speaking and shit, but you're actually going to sleep is actually awakening, and then it creates another mirror when you so-called awake. You're awakening here. You're creating that to create this. So I noticed that when I had the perfect so-called sleep, I mirrored the perfect awakening. It was just that good. And here I am talking about it. It's that quick. That's how fast it works. This is how the essence of self works. It works in a complete, it's like bam, right in your face. And if you don't catch it, you'll be struggling in the game. It's just like not knowing how to play your cards right. You know, sometimes you gotta know exactly what card to play, because if you start panicking like, damn, I already lost, I'm just gonna toss shit out. You know, that person who's playing, they just start tossing the shit out. And then you got the other person who is like, okay, well, fuck it, I don't even want to play, and they can go about something else, and the game never matter. And then most of the time this happens to children, because children think that the game is real. When adults grow up, they basically learn how to, and this is part of the game also, when an adult grows up and becomes an adult, that's part of the game. The adult doesn't know that, but they're still a child. So their goal or their job, their task as that player that they have become, the adult is supposed to teach the child that this world isn't a game anymore and it's time to grow up. And they trick them into another game. And the parent don't know that they're playing the game. Therefore, if the child figures out that this is a game, the parent will never listen to them. So we're deadlocked in prison. Okay, and most of the young kids self-destruct or just go off in life trying to do some other stupid shit to make their parents proud, and they end up screwing themselves over because they had a different type of destiny that they wanted, and then they'll have to come back and do the shit again. And yeah, sucks. So that is how that works. The perfect sleep creates the perfect awakening, because the sleep is an awakening. That's when you're actually really waking up on the other side. When you come back over here, you could have went to sleep in the solar realm to get to the spirit realm, which I guess is the astral plane and the animal kingdom. And traveling there could have taken millions or billions of years translating into the physical increments of years or whatever. Translating, that could be millions or billions, maybe trillions. So when you awaken, you just like, you got to use your brain to place yourself back at another location again. And that isn't bad or good. There's nothing wrong with that. The brain isn't the enemy. It's only an enemy if you let it take over you, because the soul doesn't like that shit. Neither does the spirit. Even the spirit, the soul really doesn't fuck with that shit, but the spirit will be sent to start fucking with your physical life and your experience, because the soul doesn't like it. So the spirit will be sent to do that to you, and then the ego will try to compete against it, and you got to pick your side. Don't become a fourth party in this thing. There's only supposed to be 1, 2, 3. All right? Father, mother, child. It's like Isis, Osiris, Horus. Isis being the ruler behind the throne, or the heir of the throne behind him with the wings. She puts him in the seat, which is the so-called fake death. Fakes his death, you know. That's where they got that shit from, faking the death, and he's really alive. He becomes the eye, the light, the coffin in your forehead, the pineal gland, the perfect black, the melanin, the energy from emitting off of the soul going into the spirit, animating your body, which becomes the Horus. Okay, so you know, it's very fucking perfect. It's just we're looking at it the wrong way. It's many ways. That doesn't mean that that's what that meant. It's just I'm just showing you how things unfold, like the saxophone and the white dude who created the saxophone and the flying vehicle, and then the flying vehicle and ancient times. All of these things you're going to keep on finding already had existed. That's why I bring people the knowledge correctly with who the Caucasian is and what they're actually doing. At first it makes you angry, but then you got to look at it from another view, because not the universe. You can't say that the universe is making a mistake. It's too perfect. It is too perfect. Nobody sat you down and put each one of your fingers on your hand and put each hair in your head and all that stupid biblical shit that they be talking about. You got to catch the codes. You become literal with the understanding, then you get a literal understanding, and you're still in the physical world. You never gain any spirituality. That's why Christians appear to be the most spiritual beings ever, but yet they're the most physical. They have no spirituality at all unless they're catching a goddamn seizure. They think a seizure is the Holy Ghost and shit, and whatever. That's just what the fuck they up to. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, the next thing I wanted to talk about with the perfect sleep. Oh, one more thing with the perfect sleep. The perfect sleep and creating the perfect awakening. Don't try to think about nothing, and just let your heart get what it wants. Let your heart do it. Okay, because sometimes you'll think that your brain can give you something that you want, when it's only a holder of information. It's just a sponge. Your heart is what actually drives you. It's the vibration. Your brain is not vibrating. It's getting vibrated into. Your brain doesn't vibrate. Therefore, when the illusion fades, your brain would have to go with it. Your heart still has a rhythm, so it gets pushed into something. And I just taught that shit to myself too. So don't think like I studied some goddamn book to figure that out. Everything I'll be saying most of the time is just off the top of my head. I just try to empty out everything and look at the basis of things. So try to just let a smooth emptiness take over you. It feels good. It feels like you're covered in, like you're wrapped in a blanket or something. And I guess that's where that metaphor comes from when it falls into the physical, where your mother wrapped you in a blanket. Damn, that's crazy. But anyway, next thing I want to talk about is how to time travel. Okay? Okay. How to time travel. Basically, if you've been sticking with me, or if you're new, I'm going to break it down. If you already been sticking with me, you already know my truth. I'm not going to call it a theory. My truth behind the time machine, inside the time machine, and why they can't create a time machine. Okay? Basically, the time machine, you are a time machine. Okay? Now, for you to be able to time travel, okay, for the new people, remember, a time machine cannot be put into a time machine, because when you travel, if you're able to do that, and you actually are able to travel this, make this time machine travel through another time machine, you wouldn't be traveling through something that you would want to travel through. You'll just be going through a bunch of unorganized chaos. So it's not going to be like what you think it is, to go back in time and kill grandfather, or go to the future and see what's going on. You would never go anywhere. You would be going to places in your head or in someone else's head, and eventually they're going to run into you like, yo, this is my world. The fuck are you doing here? You know what I'm saying? You could be fucking with somebody while they're asleep. You'll be fucking around in constellations and shit inside people's heads, and you wouldn't be actually traveling through empty space, finding out the different possibilities. Because the way you find out the different possibilities is right now. We already created a time machine. Anything that anybody comes up with or tries to create, we have already created. That's how fast your mother gives you what you want. You just gotta understand that she worked it out to the best of the best of the best of the best. So you wanted a time machine? Already got it for you. You already got a time machine. You wanted to have superpowers? She gave you every superpower that you ever wanted. You're just using the wrong ones. You have a fake person that you've been living as for a while, so you think that you want to set shit on fire, or you want to blow up stuff with your head. And it's for what? You get what I'm saying? Like, for if the superpowers that the universe wants you to have, or knows that you're going to want to have after you're done playing with these stupid comic book powers, she gives them to you in the beginning, so you don't have to go through all of that dumb shit, and we be sitting in Gotham with all these goddamn green, blue, purple people fucking up everything because of their different principles and concepts and religions. So they're using their powers to fuck up shit. Eventually there's going to be a villain and a goddamn hero, okay, and a bunch of people in between who's just bouncing back and forth to get their benefits. But scratch that like a cat. All right, time traveling. How in the hell do you time travel? Right? It seems so hard, doesn't it? But this is why I want you guys to get the perfect sleep, so you can get the perfect awakening. Because things get so clear and they fog up when you get away from yourself and you start thinking like a fucking European. And that it's only going to benefit you in the physical world, and that could be for the longest time, incarnation after incarnation. So you time travel by using your awareness of the decision. Okay? Check that out now. Don't take it too fast. I'm trying to be careful with this shit. I wasn't even going to talk about this stuff because people ask too many questions, and it seems like they're scared, and I don't want anybody. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm trying to get straight to a point. And sometimes that creates an ego battle, or it scares people, or it makes them think that I'm racist or some shit. And I'm just trying to get to the point. You dig what I'm saying? So, anyway, the decision is made of, you got to make an aware decision. You have to be aware that you're making a decision, and you have to know. You can't think maybe. There is no maybe. You know that you're making a decision. Simple. That's it. You know that you're making a decision, and your result that comes from that is the location that you keep on hitting. Okay, so you could be at a store, and how's that not time traveling? If no one was time traveling, no one would be moving. There would be no heart. There would be no pulse. There could be a clock, but we would all just be sitting there staring at it. So you have to be time traveling. Like I said in the song, you had wings the whole time. They were on your feet though. You got to catch on to that. And your decisions is how you time travel. A decision. Dimension. Position. All of these things, you have to be aware of them. If you're aware of the decision that you're making, totally, you have to totally be aware of the decision that you're making. If you decide, you say you're not working right now, you don't have a job. If you decide to go, well, I ain't got no other choice but to go do that, bam, you're going into that reality. You're going into it. I ain't got no other choice but to go over there because they're hiring. I'm going to do this and I got to do what I got to do. And you think there's no other way. There always is a way. I've been in cars, sleeping in cars and hotel shelters and stuff, and each time we thought it was all gonna like blow, the world was gonna fall on our head, it never happened. I've been in the bottom of the bottom, and it never actually really goes wrong. It's just you want stuff around you, and you think that you don't fit into life because you don't have stuff. And then I realized that the more that you don't care about stuff, the more stuff you get. The more you keep wanting stuff, the more it keeps breaking and running away from your grasp. And the more you keep on paying for shit. But the more you just go, I don't really care about any of the stuff in the physical world. Fuck it. Then you end up getting it. If you don't really focus on money, it just starts coming. You don't really focus on it. You make it something small. If you can't feel like I told you about taking the shit out of your hand, rubbing it on a tree, if you don't feel confident in yourself, then it will take all that confidence, because it's not like you don't have any confidence. You have confidence. But if you don't use it, you better bet all of the fucking cells in your body that the brain and everybody else's brain is going to split that confidence up between each other and eat it right in your face. Because the brains are a big family. The egoians, or whatever the fuck you want to call them. Egologists, as I like to call them. The fucking egologists. And they all work together, and there's nothing to be afraid of, because I know that makes you panic, like something's in my head that I'm not controlling. I didn't say you didn't control it. I'm saying you don't want to take the time out to do it. So reprogram yourself. Make aware decisions. Be aware that you're making a decision that has a result to it that could be beneficial, or it could be hazardous to your experience inside of this existence. You dig? And that's basically it. Simple and plain. I'll try to find a topic to break down, because I know that stuff is soothing to break down stuff and make the world seem like it's not important. So I'll pick a topic of something that's really, nagging people, and then I'll just break it down and make it non-existent and irrelevant to the situation. I'll just give you a whole nother view of it if I could find one. That's about it, y'all. Peace.